Good morning. Welcome to Bird's Eye View Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas. I'm your host, Nick Limbird, with my co-host, Tara Limbird of Limbird Real Estate Group. How are you this morning, Tara?
Doing wonderful. And we are talking about a very important topic today.
What is that topic?
That topic is what the 10 commandments of real estate, basically, when you're under contract. These are the things you do not want to do while you're under contract. So we're going
Commandment, that sounds pretty powerful. This must be really important.
This is super important.
All righty.
Super
we'll go
duper.
deeper here in a little bit.
That's right. Welcome to our show, Bird's Eye View Real Estate Northwest Arkansas.
Well, we always like to start the show off with the positive moment. So what's going on good?
Well, yeah, we got to be positive for Thanksgiving.
Oh,
so
my God.
Just had
Thankful
Thanksgiving.
for all that food.
I know. I totally gained 20 pounds from all that.
Yeah,
so.
may need some elastic pants here after that eating festival.
Oh, it's always good, though, to have a little extra time off and get to see family.
Oh, absolutely. It's great to see family and catch up and share some good memories. For sure.
No, we didn't get to see everybody we wanted to this year, but at least just a small gathering. But
Yeah,
still
a little different. Thanksgiving looked a little different this year, but all you can do is make the best of the situation.
That's right. But I tell you what's really cool too is we have our Christmas party coming up for our office.
Oh yeah, the annual Limbird team Christmas party.
Yes.
That's always a good time, and everybody kind of cuts loose and lets their hair down a little bit.
Yeah, and we have a gentleman, a caterer. I had to get his name for you because he's awesome, and he's catering in a fajita and taco bar like we had last year. And OMG, it is to die for.
Oh yeah, he's got that real good, unique cooking style.
Yes, it's like a real authentic Mexican food. So
it's definitely no Taco Bell. Not that there's anything wrong with Taco Bell,
No.
but it's definitely a next step up.
No, it is awesome for sure. So, well, great. Well, we've talked a little bit about the market. Market is still rolling good. So if you're looking to buy or sell, the interest rates are great, which makes it a great time to buy. Low inventory right now, which makes it a good time to sell. So usually those things don't always go hand in hand. So it's a good time to do that for sure.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next segment of our show. We like to give a shout out to our support staff.
Yeah, it's brought to you by Harbor Closing Company.
Harbor Closing Company. All right, who are we giving a shout out today?
Today we are talking about Miss Stacy McSpadden.
Oh, Stacy, the dirty dog. She's a Mississippi State Bulldog fan.
Oh yeah, ho ho.
Well, technically she's not, but her husband is. And
Yes.
boy, they ragged me really good because Mississippi State started the season beating LSU, and they've just self-destructed to my laughter since. But
well,
she's not talking much anymore, that's for sure.
I know it. She is. She's one of our executive brokers, and she's our vice president of sales here at Limbird. So we could not do it without Stacy. Everybody loves her.
No, in all seriousness, Stacy is a terrific advocate and addition to the Limbird Real Estate Group, and really helps our agents stay focused and dedicated to what they do.
Yeah, and accountable. We said the other day in our annual planning that accountability is the greatest form of love. And Stacy shows that 'cause she tries to help all the agents stay accountable to the goals they set for themselves and their families.
Yeah, absolutely. She's definitely a mother bear kind of figure. She can be rough and tough when she needs to, but soft and nurturing at the same time.
For sure.
We're glad to have her as a part of our team, that's for sure.
Definitely. And as you mentioned earlier, we are Northwest Arkansas, home of the only instant offer program. So anybody that's been looking to sell a home and then maybe doesn't want to go through quite all the inconveniences when you are selling your home, this is our maximum convenience program, our instant offer, where, come talk to us. Let's figure out your situation. Everyone's got a little different situation. This might be the perfect program for you. It might not be. We have other options too, but we give them an offer and within 72 hours, and it's great. People love it. So
definitely a great option, and of course, if that's not a good fit for you, we can always do a traditional listing. We have
lots
more
of
than those than anybody else out there.
For sure, we have lots of programs. We just realize it's not a one size fits all.
Sure, everybody likes options.
Heck yeah, we all want options.
Alrighty.
So absolutely. All right, so our next thing is we're going to talk a little bit about flipping homes. However, before we do that, I have a joke.
Oh boy, my favorite part of the show.
Yes, and it's a great segue into what we're talking about. So we've got a few single ladies on the team, and they talk about having some dates here and there. And the other day I was asking one, I said, "Man, Shannon, how was your date last night?" And she said, "He's a charming fixer-upper. I may flip him." So, but yay. So now,
Okay, moving on.
that goes into our flipping homes. That's one of the really fun things about real estate is, real estate, obviously, everybody has to have somewhere to live. Whether you're renting right now or you're buying a home to, raise your family, have those memories. But real estate's also a vehicle for wealth and investing, and flipping homes is a great way.
Making money. Everybody likes to make some money.
That's right. You know what? Let's just start off. Sometimes we there's shows on TV. Flip this house. Flip this. Flip or flop. But what someone may just go, what does that even mean? Flipping a house. What would you say, Nick?
Sure. No, that's a great question. Flipping a house is finding a house that you can buy affordably is the key, and looking at the opportunity and potential that has to potentially sell it for more money than you're going to make is the basic concept. There's lots of different ways to do that. Sometimes maybe you just buy the house at a really, really good deal and turn around and sell it to somebody for more. That's a flip right there. That's not what a lot of these people see on the shows, but hey, if you can turn around and do very, very little work and to make some money off of it, why would you not?
Definitely.
That's the easiest way to flip a house and less hands-on.
And for those people that are, because I have people call me all the time saying, we maybe want to buy another house as an investment property. And there are, obviously there are homes on the MLS, the multiple listing service, that are advertised for everybody. But truly, the best deals are the off-market deals. And that's where our team comes in handy, is because we're a team of 30 plus people with our agents and our support team. We're out there talking to people all the time, and we come across all sorts of different scenarios of people maybe wanting to sell. And again, like the instant offer, they don't want to go jump through all the hoops. And so sometimes there's those opportunities available that are just not being advertised publicly.
Sure. Well, one of the things most people, when they think of flips, they think of buying some beat up house and turning it in, putting lots of new stuff, new paint, cabinets, floors, light fixtures, all that stuff, and turn it into just a dump to a beautiful home that somebody's going to pay them tons and tons of money. And that all sounds great in theory, but it can be a little complicated sometimes. That's why you need to know what you're doing and have a professional kind of guiding you through, because many stories, as we heard of good ones, we've also heard of some bad ones that didn't go like people thought, and they didn't make as much money or didn't make any money, or sometimes they lose money. Or
they didn't have any contingency money for all the stuff that comes up that you're like, I wasn't planning on that. It's like you go through ahead of time, okay, I need new carpet, I need new paint, I need new this. But it's those little things like, oh, crud, I didn't know we're going to have to replace this. And, you got to have that little contingency money hanging off to the side.
Yeah, there's always a few curveballs behind the walls sometimes when you flip houses.
For sure. And, and I tell you right now, you know this firsthand, is the struggle of finding people to work on these homes, because time is money when you're flipping a home. It's the interest clock is ticking, so you want to flip this thing as soon as possible, but it's really hard because it's right now there's so much work out there for new construction and everything. You try to get hold of a plumber, you try to get hold of an electrician, you try to get and we get, even us, we refer so much business to people, and we get stood up a lot of times too. So it's
sure. Well, and then when you get somebody there, they want to charge you an arm and a leg too.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden your formula or your budget that you had in mind there may get blown out real quick when the plumber or electrician or the painter or whoever's involved comes in and their bill's 30-40% more than you anticipated. That can really throw you out of whack quickly. For
sure. And that's where we can come in handy, is because we do have a lot of connections. Like I said, we still sometimes can get the short end of the stick, but I can't imagine if you're not living in this world and you're trying to make this happen, what that looks like for those people. So.
Sure. Well, there's that one show, First Time Flippers, and it's always a nightmare, but there's tons of those shows out there. But that's some of those that don't always go as planned, and so you got to be careful for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to move on and talk about our agent shout out, brought to you by Metro Property Management.
Agent shout out. Woohoo! Who are we talking about this week?
Oh, we're going to talk about John Marquez.
Oh, John, he's a character.
He is. He's so dry, and you think and when you first meet him, but you start talking to him, and when he says something that is funny, it just makes you like bend over laughing because you just don't expect it.
Sure. No, one of my funniest memories with John was the first week or two he was at the office, and he was very quiet and very reserved, and one of our senior agent, Jason, who's always a character,
Yes.
said, "Oh my gosh, somebody's gonna have to remove the stick out of this guy's backside."
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, John dropped a hilarious joke in front of everybody after being so quiet,
Yeah.
and the room erupted in laughter. And that was his kind of coming out party, and you knew
We're like, okay, he's
what,
going to be
what
okay.
a character he was, and he was going to make it.
For sure. Well, and for those that may not know, one of our core values on our team is humor. So this is one of those industries that will make you crazy. So you got to have a good sense of humor. And our team, I think, definitely does a good job of that.
I think we do humor better than we sell houses, if I had to say.
Maybe so. Yeah, that's for sure. So again, you're listening to Bird's Eye View, Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas. I was about to say I'm Nick, but I think I'm Tara, and you're Nick.
I'm Nick most days.
Okay, that's good to know. With Limbird Real Estate Group, home of the only instant offer program. And you can find more information or talk to us. Call us 855-755-SOLD or go to our website, limbirdteam.com. You know what? I think we've teased them long enough. It's time to talk about those 10 commandments. What not to do when you're buying a home. Not to do. Cannot do this whatsoever.
The rules.
Yes. So one of the things, of course, don't change jobs. Do not change jobs while you're buying a house. Once you find the home and you're under contract, do not change jobs. So you may have something lucrative come along. Call your loan officer, talk to them about it. You know, there could be a plan to make that work, but don't jump into anything, and be sure you're communicating with your loan officer on every single thing that you're doing.
No, that's a great point. Lenders and their underwriters like to see stability and consistency, and a lot of times you've got to have a track record there, a lot of times out 2 years or more, and that makes them feel good. A lot of times if you don't have that, they get very nervous and think, hey, is this person a flight risk? Are they not going to be able to make this payment? Or are they going to change jobs and take something lesser? They like predictable and consistent.
And when you're applying for a loan, they need copies of your check stubs. Well, a lot of times if you get a new job, you may not get your first full paycheck for 2 or 3 weeks by the time you have 2 full weeks come around. So that could be a problem. Or it could even be the way you're getting paid. Maybe you went from a salary to a smaller salary, but now you're going to get bonuses, and you may going to be making more money, but you can't prove that yet.
Sure. One of the biggest things is, you know, we deal with a lot of people who are in the sales industry, and a lot of times their pay is not always consistent. So if you're in sales, you definitely need to have a good, strong conversation with your mortgage lender. Let them know what's going on, have them look at those to make sure that they can do what they need to do on your end. So the next rule is thou shalt not buy a car, truck, or van.
Or you may find yourself living in it.
Oh, man, or you may find yourself. She's always got the good jokes.
That's right. Well, you just don't want to incur that extra payment, because it may throw your debt ratios out of whack. You may be able to afford it, but we see scenarios sometimes where maybe a couple is buying a home, and one of them, they both have jobs, but maybe their credit score is just a tad lower. So the loan officer will say, well, let's just put it in one person's name. That way I could get you a better interest rate. But then now you went and bought a car, which you could afford with both incomes, but the way you're arranging your mortgage loan, it's only under one person's name, which is only under that one person's income, and then it throws all your ratios out of whack.
No, that's very true, very true.
You do not want to do that.
So what's the next commandment?
All right, you're under contract, you're buying a home, you're so excited, you're going to get that new couch for the living room, you're going to put the new bed in the bedroom.
Don't forget the big screen TV.
Oh, and the big screen TV. But don't buy it before you close on your home. 2 reasons. Number one, how many times do you go to a furniture store? Of course, they want to put it on the 12 months.
0% interest.
0% interest, that's
for the
right.
next 72 months.
But what's going to happen? They're going to run your credit. You're going to get dinged on your credit.
Gets
Could lower
back
your
to that
score.
debt ratio thing
yes.
again.
Now you've got new debt. Or let's say you're like, hey, that's okay. I'm going to pay cash. We literally had this not long ago. Someone went and spent their down payment money on furniture. And then they didn't have their down payment money anymore. So they couldn't buy the house. So don't buy any furniture until you get into the home. Okay.
No, that's great advice. And I think our next one is thou shalt not use credit cards excessively or let your accounts fall behind. One of the key things gets back to that debt thing we keep touching on. It may throw your ratios off if you're charging lots of things on there, and or you maybe are a little bit late on, for forgetting to pay that credit card payment and you get late and all of a sudden you get a late charge or a little ding on your credit. That credit hit can be the thing that knocks you off course for getting your home purchased.
Right. It could even be, a credit card maybe you haven't used in a while and all of a sudden you use it. There's this new activity. So they're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on here? There's a break in their normal spending habits. So another thing you want to do is make sure this one's going to throw you for a loop. Do not get rid of any of your debts. You may think, wow, I need to pay this off. I've got some extra money. Sometimes when you actually pay off a debt, because creditors, they like to see that you have a little debt, believe it or not. They like to see it that way they could see how you're paying it. Sometimes you get rid of that debt and you don't have that on your credit report anymore. It could actually lower your credit score, oddly enough, by not having any debt.
I know, that's always been a head scratcher where you've got to take on debt to be a better credit risk.
I know it. Yeah, for sure. So the main thing right now we know, don't spend money on your credit cards, and also don't pay off any credit cards. Again, that's why it's so key to have a really good loan officer. We use a lot of times First National Bank of Northwest Arkansas. We also use Lindsay Kemp at Highlands Mortgage. Those are both great, but you want to keep your loan officer involved in everything that you're doing. And if you have this wonderful idea to pay off something, talk to them first and say, hey, how's this going to affect things?
Sure. Well, our next one is thou shalt not stop paying your rent or current mortgage. Once again, this gets back to defaults or maybe credit hits, and those are the things that can knock you off course. So I know you're excited about that new house, but you got to keep paying for the current situation that you're in, or it can bite you on the backside.
For sure. Sometimes people are selling one home and buying another, and so they think, oh, I don't need, it's under contract and we're closing in a few weeks. I don't need to make that payment anymore. Again, talk to your loan officer, because you may need to still go ahead and pay it. And then when you close, it'll pay off the rest of that mortgage. And just keep in mind, if you have to go ahead and make a payment, it's just going to lower the overall balance for the mortgage. So it's not like you're not going to get that money back. It's the same sort of thing.
Well, the next one is thou shalt not apply for any new credit. I can't tell you how many times we see people getting out there, opening a credit card to go buy furniture or the TVs or some of these other things we've mentioned. But a lot of times by opening that new account, it will flag your credit and they'll run another credit check on it, and it can sometimes throw you out of whack.
Right. And it's tempting. I was at, Ellie and I were Old Navy a few weeks ago, bought some clothes, went to the register, and they're like, ma'am, did you know if you apply for an Old Navy credit card today, you could save 20%? That's going to save you $13 or whatever it was. I'm like, oh man, gosh, you're so tempted, because I didn't need to use the credit card. All you had to do is apply for it to get the discount. So again, don't apply. You don't want anything that's going to take any hits to your credit report.
What's going to be our next one?
Well, we said don't take on new debt personally, but also don't take on any debt for somebody else. Sometimes people need a co-signer to purchase a car, purchase a home, or maybe it's your teenager in college and they need a co-signer for a credit card to put it on there together. But you don't want to do, it's okay to do these things, but don't do them during this window when you're trying to close on your home. So that again can throw it out of whack. The next thing, which again, this is going to sound like a really weird one, but you do not make any large deposits into your checking or savings account without talking to your loan officer. Let's say your cousin Billy that you loaned $5,000 to 10 years ago to buy a car says, you know what, sorry it's taken me 10 years, but I finally have that $5,000 back. You make this large deposit in your account, and the bank that you're getting the loan from, they're going to run this and they're going to go, where'd that money come from? Because they want to make sure someone didn't loan you money and now you have to pay that back. So again, that sounds like so silly that they're going to care that you made a large deposit into your account. But it can really throw things out of whack.
Flags things and makes them get a little nervous, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And our last one is thou shalt not change bank accounts or transfer funds back and forth between accounts. Once again, it kind of gets back to the last one that we mentioned. Just keep things consistent. So that kind of wraps up our 10 Commandments. But if we had to recap for those just tuning in to Bird's Eye View Real Estate Northwest Arkansas, basically anything that has to do with finances, check with your mortgage officer and your realtor before you do anything.
Yeah. Anything with
I
your
know the
job.
excitement's there and all that, but hey, when you're in this process, it's usually a home process takes 30 to 60 days on average, sometimes a little bit longer, but buckle down, focus on these things during this time. If it has to do with money, credit, buying anything, moving monies around, talk to that professional that you're working with.
Don't buy anything. Don't pay anything off. Don't get any loans. Don't quit your job. All these things. Hey,
30 to 60 days, guys.
And anybody that could see us right now, we do video these. We do have a piece of paper. You can see it right here. We can also email these things to you in our handy dandy little cute
If
format.
they wanted to get in touch with us, how would they reach out?
Go to limbirdteam.com. You can email us, info@limbirdteam.com. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/limbirdteam. Or like you always say, the old-fashioned way, pick up the phone and call us, 855-755-SOLD.
All right.
All right.
Well, moving on to the next segment of our show, Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas, Bird's Eye View. We've got a question from Steve from Fayetteville. What's Steve asking us today?
Okay. He said, looking back for the year 2020, what are we most thankful for? We just had Thanksgiving, so we're still on the thankful train. What are we most thankful for 2020?
Sure. I think for me personally, it's 2020 has been a little challenging year for all of us due to what's going on. But I think the thing I'm most thankful for is, the business has gone well, but more importantly, the family and friends have stayed healthy for the most part. I've had a few people that have had exposure to COVID and stuff of that nature, but everybody's moved forward and has been able to have a healthy year overall. So I'm very thankful for that.
No, I think that's great, and I agree. I think for me too is, we talked a few weeks ago about doing our annual planning. And when you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business, you have to do a lot of planning. But no matter how much planning you do, life's going to throw you curveballs.
Absolutely. If you saw this coming
Exactly.
for 2020, you need to be in the prediction business.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I think for me, not just me personally and our family, but our company, is that we can persevere and that we're resilient and that we're problem solvers, because there's been a lot of curveballs this year, and that we've made it through all of them. We had to, back in March, completely switch gears on how we were going to do our business, which I'm thankful we're in a situation where we can turn things on a dime when we need to. And we did, and thankfully everything worked out. So
it did, and so we'll buckle down and hope that 2021 brings prosperity and blessings to us as well as all of you out there. And we'll just do the best we can. That's all you can do, and
right.
We'll knuckle down and weather the storms.
No, that's for sure. And so maybe I would probably say a lot of people this year will say the best thing about 2020 is maybe seeing it in the rearview mirror. It's almost behind us. It's almost in the past. And Matt Wagner, a friend of ours with radio and television experts, he posted the other day on Facebook something along the lines that your rearview mirror is smaller for a reason, because your rearview mirror is looking back. You got to look back sometimes and see where you came from, but that front windshield, that's the big windshield.
That's where you're going.
That's where you're going,
Yep.
And so you gotta stay on that track.
Great thought.
All right, next week, a little teaser for you guys is we did touch on it today, but we're going to go a little deeper next week, and we're going to talk about the smartest ways to invest in real estate.
Oh man, that's going to be a good show.
It is going to be a great one. There's, again, so many people find wealth and retirement by building a life and building equity in real estate, and we're going to tell you all the smart ways to do it.
Well, one thing, can we get away from your joke next week?
Oh man, I don't know. Let's ask the audience.
Oh man.
Pipe
Guys,
in.
what do you think?
Yay or nay? Yay or nay?
Let's go with nay.
No, I like it. So,
all right, guys. Well, we're about to finish up this segment of Real Estate in Northwest Arkansas, Bird's Eye View. And for those of you just tuning in, thank you for listening to Nick and Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group. Hope to see you next week.
Yes, and I'm so glad we were able to go over the 10 Commandments and talk about what not to do when you're buying a home. And next week, we'll talk about the smart ways to invest in real estate. Be sure and holler at us, 855-755-SOLD. Go to our website, Limbird, like a bird on a limb, limbirdteam.com, and check us out or go to our Facebook page. But we'd love to talk to you, and if you have any questions, just give us a shout.
All right. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.